Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about my top books of 2020. So, I've chosen 5 books out of my top books and then I have 2 honourable mentions because I'm indecisive. So, let's get into it. The first book that I'm going to be talking about is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. This is the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it is basically the aftermath of the first book. So I'll describe to you the synopsis of the first book, if you don't know, so that we can get into this. So, A Court of Thorns and Roses is about a girl named Feyre who comes from a very poor family, and she hunts in the woods to provide food for her family. However, when she ends up killing a wolf, one of the Fae come to her house and take her away. It's like Beauty and the Beast kind of vibes. There's like a curse, all this fun jazz. This is the aftermath of that, basically. So this book centers around Feyre afterwards, and it takes her on a journey to the Night Court, which is really fun. I love this book, but it's sort of like a guilty pleasure book because I understand there's like problematic elements. I completely understand why people wouldn't like the series. It's like, I just enjoy it. I have fun reading it. The second book I'm going to be talking about is The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. This is a historical fiction set in both World War I and World War II, or post-World War II, surrounding spies. So, this book is told in 2 timelines, one in World War I and one post-World War II, both of them looking at one of the characters throughout. Eve Gardner is basically a spy for the British. She works for what's called the Alice Network, which is a real network of spies that were women who were fighting the resistance against Germany in France. The second timeline for this book is in 1947, in the aftermath, where an American girl is pregnant and is looking for her cousin Rose. And it leads us to discussing our sort of morals and all these different things, women's issues, spies, and it was just fantastic. It was really beautifully written, and as you can see, it was a Reese's Book Club pick, and I've been endeavouring to read as many of those as possible, so this was an excellent read. I really enjoyed it. I initially borrowed it from my library as an ebook, and I bought the physical copy a few months ago because I just loved it so much. The next book I'm going to be talking about is When We Left Cuba by Chanel Cleaton. This is another historical fiction, and it centers around the Cuban Revolution and Fidel Castro. So our main character, Beatriz, is a spy, and she is going to be working to take down Fidel Castro, essentially. She has revenge on her mind, and it's just another fantastic spy book, another fantastic historical fiction with really lyrical writing, and I absolutely adored this one. So I would highly recommend this because I see no one talking about it and I loved it. I loved it so much. I got this from my library as well, and I bought the physical copy because I just love it so much. To continue on the historical fiction, because that's the thing that I've been reading the most this year. I don't know why or how, but it just is. Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This book is set in World War II in 1945, and it follows 4 characters: a German soldier, a Polish girl, a Prussian, and a Lithuanian girl. And they are all endeavouring to escape from the Soviet Union, and they're doing this by getting onto some ships. And these ships, the main ship is the Wilhelm Gustloff, and that ship is a tragic tale. I initially listened to this one as an audiobook through my library because I love my library, and it was just fantastic. It is so good. Like, it was this is probably my favourite book of the year, and it is so beautifully written, it is so lyrical, and it is so immersive, but it also really takes you in, and you can tell that Ruta Sepetys is really into like history and really thoroughly researched it, and as a history student myself, that made me really happy. It made me really immersed in the book. it was also one of those books that I was like on the edge of my seat. I was so keen to get to the end of this and be like, what was going to happen? What was going to happen? Are they going to get together? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Who's going to die? Are they going to die? Oh my god. So yeah, I really love this book. And I also read Between Shades of Grey, which is sort of a companion, sort of not, which I also really enjoyed. Not as much as this, but I did really enjoy it. And I am keen to read more of Rita Petty's because this reminds me why I love my history major so much. The final one of my top 5 is Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. And this one I read because A, I love Nina LaCour. I really enjoyed her other book, which is, the name is escaping me. We Are Okay, it's on the cover. I really enjoyed We Are Okay. I gave it 5 stars, so I thought I was really going to enjoy this, and I was right. I gave this 5 stars, I believe. Watch Over Me is super weird. It's like paranormal, but like it's not, and it's like about grief and suffering and sort of recovering from grief, basically. And it's also about the foster system, and that is something I haven't read about before, so I was really intrigued by that. So this is about a young adult named Mila, and she goes to this farm to work as a tutor of sorts. And while she is there, there's basically ghosts. And she's trying to get accepted by this family, but there's also ghosts that are sort of haunting her from her past and all the other family members' past. And it's sort of like the situation where you don't really know whether the ghosts are real or not, but it is just so fantastic. I love this. It was so... like, you can see all the stains from my backpack. Like, it is so good. I would highly recommend this if you're looking for a contemporary, if you're looking for something very lyrical, or if you're looking to read something that's just a bit weird and a bit like off. I really enjoyed it. Now it's time for the honourable mentions, which I have some thoughts about. I love them. I really did. I think I gave one of them 4 stars and one of them 5 stars. The first one I'm going to be talking about is a graphic novel, and this is Paper Girls, and it was written by Brian K. Vaughan, and I think it's illustrated by the rest of the people, so Cliff Chan, Matt Wilson, and Jared K. Fletcher. In 1988 there are 4 paper girls, and they are going around delivering papers, but there's this sci-fi little sort of alien invasion, supernatural kind of, we don't really know what's going on situation here, and it is brilliant. The art is just so vivid and gorgeous, and it really captures sort of that really unique sort of thing that I really enjoy personally. I haven't read anything like this or seen anything like this really, so it was really good to read this. I've read the first 2 volumes and I enjoyed both of them, and I'm really keen to get into the rest of the series. So I would, if you're looking for a graphic novel or something that's like weird, really strange, really unique, 100% would recommend this. The other honourable mention that I have is, of course, by V.E. Schwab, because I love V.E. Schwab. This book was a buddy read that I did with my friend Kirsty from Kirst Reads. I'll put her link in the description. And it is Vengeful. So this is the 2nd book in the Villain series. And I don't have words to describe this, honestly. It is truly whack, and I love it. It's like the dark academia book of my dreams. Essentially, it's like these people called extraordinaries, they have superpowers, and it's based on how they nearly died. So you have to have a near-death experience to get your superpowers to become an EO, an extraordinary. And it's about these 2 characters, Eli and Victor, and basically they're both anti-heroes, and it's like morality and like mortality, religious fight. It's just so good. This is the sequel. So the sequel is about, what's her name? The sequel is about Marcella Riggins? Yeah, Marcella Riggins, and basically trying to stop her from doing what she's doing. I love this book. I'm so keen to read the rest of her books. I've just got 2 or 3 more to go. The Archive series, I've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And I think that's it. Those were my top books of 2020. Let me know what your top books are in the comments below. My name is Courtney, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!